beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and you guys, whoo, I am so freaking excited to be making this video today. I have so many things I want to say. The first thing, just to get it out of the way, the sweater. I know I'm gonna get questions, comments, girl, what are you doing? Where'd that come from? What's happening? What did I miss? The drill. And the shirt itself is from American Eagle. I just did a plus size American Eagle try-on haul, which I will link up here. I don't know if it's still in stock or not when you watch this, but if you are curious, that's where it's from. It's a cute little off the shoulder number, obviously, because you can see my shoulders. And yeah, it's in that video. Check it out if you want to see their jeans, sweaters. I did a whole try on, so check that out. That's number one. Number two, this face of makeup, everything that is going on here, girl, this highlight, like what is going on in my life. All of this was just filmed for a video. I will link that right up here. It is a full face of new makeup. And with that all said and out of the way, y'all, we just need to talk about what is going on in today's video because, honey, the year 2019, it is skidding to a halt, and I mean like pump your brakes, girl. It is happening so freaking fast. And when I look back at the year 2019, I literally see the following: January, February, March, April, December. Like, that's what I see. I don't even know where all the months in between. I just remember January being suspiciously long. Like, someone forgot to reset the matrix, so it was just like prolonged, and I don't know why, but it was so damn long. And then after that, it was just like word vomit the rest of the months, and it's over. I have sitting on my lap right now my favorite eyeshadow palettes of 2019, and I'm pretty confident in what I have chosen. Every single freaking year, I miss a palette or two or five. It's a thing, but I'm pretty confident in the ones that I have selected. So I'm gonna go through. These are in no particular order, but I wanted to just take some time, go through, tell you what I love, why I love them, and I don't know, just like spend a little time talking about why I think they're so amazing. So that's what we're gonna dive into first, and I'm actually going to kick it off with a palette that I can't find because apparently 2019 was the year of lost items and lost things. Guys, when I went through and I redid this beauty room, I feel like a little gnome came in and took half of my favorite stuff. I can't find it anywhere, and I'm talking about none other than the Urban Decay Honey palette, and I can't freaking find it. So we're just gonna have to settle for Paige talking about it and try not to cry, because let me just tell you, that palette is one of my all-time, I think, favorite Urban Decay palettes that they've ever come out with that are in that bar style. Yes, I love their Born to Run palette. I think it is amazing. It's easily one of my favorites as far as just like a different type of palette, but when it comes to their long style, like bar type palettes that are like that, the Honey palette for me is just so freaking good. It is blendable. It is so carefree. It's easy to use. It's very day-to-day, very neutral, beautiful, but like with a nice like little upturned twist. And I love it because it was so unexpected for me. I did not think I would love that palette nearly as much as I do. And every time I turned around for like a month, easily a month and a half, I kept wanting to reach for it to where I needed to try out new makeup and I had to tell myself to put it down, which is probably why I can't find it now, because I probably put it somewhere and I was like, I'll be back for you. And then of course I forgot. Moral of my story, I love the palette. It's amazing. It's blendable. It's buttery. Oh God, it's like a neutral lady who likes a slight pop of yellow's dream. And originally I wasn't on board. I'm glad I got on board. I love it. It's beautiful. Oh yes, girl, move on. Beautiful. All right, moving into the next palette, I just want to make a real quick disclaimer. Some palettes I'll probably spend more time on than others. Some of them it's going to be a real quick, hey, I like it, it's good, it's whatever. And other ones I might want to elaborate a little bit more on. So just keep that in mind. If I buzz through it or whatever, it's just because like, girl, the video, like, it's got to keep moving. We're trying to fit a lot into a short amount of time. And with that being said, let's talk about a favorite, not only of the year, but something I have been using a ton lately. And that would be the ColourPop So Jaded palette, the collab they did with Kathleen Lights. This killed it for me. I absolutely love this palette. Like I said, I've been using it a ton lately. And I think my love for this is predicated on two very different things. Number one, this is like, I love ColourPop, their shadows. I have a difficult time sometimes with how they do, you know, their releases and all of that. We're well aware on my channel. But as far as their formula, their price point, all of that, I think for what you pay, the value is incredible. And this was just like a Jumbotron version of freaking ColourPop for me that I can't get enough of it. I feel like it's a very cohesive, very beautiful set, and for the price, you just couldn't go wrong. Number one. Number two, aside from there being a lot of it, the earth tone undertone of this palette, earth tone undertone, okay, is beautiful. I'm absolutely obsessed with the colors that she chose and how they fit the theme of this palette. Also a big fan of the way that she did the textured things on here as well. Now there are a couple shades, I don't know, I think Opal and Topaz. Those might be technically not eye safe. I'm not sure, honestly. I've only used them a couple of times because for me, this palette is all about the neutrals. I freaking, oh, an earth tone neutral, just like, give it to me. Whoa, that went really far, really quick, and I tried to pull it back and I didn't catch it in time. But I love this. I love that it has so many different textures. He even threw in the shade Diamond, which is like a ColourPop Super Shock shadow. So it's got that nice little squish to it. I have been wearing this on my eyes literally almost every day lately. It's beautiful. Overall, the palette itself, I cannot say enough good things. All right, now next up, we're just gonna dive over a little bit to a palette that for me was a little funky, a little fresh, a little like do my thing chicken wing, and that would be the Dominique Cosmetics Rustic Glam. Now this one took me a little bit by surprise because I think it's the color story. The color story on this and the way that they set the palette up, I just think is so freaking beautiful. When I see this, I see a palette that I really haven't seen before, and I think it's a mixture of the color story, the shimmers to matte ratio, like the way that this whole thing is so thoughtfully designed. I absolutely love this palette. The quality through and through was absolutely amazing. I had no issues there either. And I think what I loved about this is that you could get like that funky, like when I look at this, I get kind of 60s, 70s vibe. And I don't know if it's like blue with orange. I don't know what it is about it, but that's the feeling that I get when I look at this. And for some reason, it makes me very inspired in a really weird way. Like I keep wanting to look at this and go, okay, I want to have something daytime because all of this right here, you have nice, neutral, easy to use color, but then you can literally throw a pop of anything in there and funk it up a little bit if you want to. You can do just so much with this palette, and I feel like when I look at it, I'm really inspired to delve into all of those things, and that for me is the mark of a good palette, and I really do like this. I think for me, this is probably, this might be the best palette she's, the Latte palette was amazing. What was that, 2017, 2018? But this is like, oh girl, so good. Next up, this one is a little bit more on the recent side, and yes, I keep it in its unicarton because it is adorable, and that is the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. I freaking love this. Manny did such a good job with this. Oh my God, you guys, his entire collection, well, first of all of his collections are amazing. He put so much detail and thought into his packaging. Like every little thing about it is just so perfect. And then diving into the color story, I know a lot of people weren't a big fan. They were like, oh, this doesn't give me fall, this doesn't give me Halloween. But I actually really enjoyed this, not only for the time it was released, but also for the story itself. I like it. I thought it was a different take on the time of year we were in. Again, you know, that Halloween fall vibe. But I also thought it was cool to see someone who wasn't afraid to go in this direction for Halloween. Like if you think about it, Halloween is the time where you become anything. You can be a sorcerer, you can be a princess, and you can do so many of those things with this palette. And I just felt like the creativity was definitely there. His formula is so beautiful. I had a ton of use out of this palette. Regardless, whatever palette I'm using of his, the quality and the consistency, very much so there, very on point, and I'm a big fan. All right, now I'm gonna flip it over a little bit drugstore, and I don't have much to say about these, but I think the quality is outstanding. And these are the little MILANI palettes, the Most Loved Mattes and the Bold Obsessions. I think these palettes, the quality is insane. Of the two, this one is my favorite. This is the Most Loved Mattes palette. These mattes are so freaking buttery and just, they blend on their own. I swear to you, if you are looking for a more affordable all matte palette that's a nice day, like you want to just run something through your crease, you want to be on your way, live your life, this is so easy to use. And then same with the Bold Obsessions palette. It has the same matte formula. In this palette, you actually have some shimmers as well. So if you wanted to zhuzh it up a little, maybe you're wanting to play with that shimmer life, you can pick this one up. You have the best of both worlds. You get a couple mattes and a few shimmers. For me personally, I think their all matte version is the best, but this one's nice. Again, if you're looking for some shimmer options, like girl, they do not play. Like, look at this. I'll just show you. Hello. Like these things are freaking, oh my God. Yes. I forgot how beautiful that was. Like, look at those. They are like glistening, gleaming for the heavens. So there really isn't too much else to add about these. I really like them. I think the quality is great. And as far as drugstore palettes, like this is, I think, the only thing in this video that's actually physically like from a drugstore, because all other drugstore eyeshadow palettes I tried, they just didn't make the cut. Like they were either too fluffy or too, you know, they foofed apart. They didn't have good pigmentation. They didn't blend well. The arrangement wasn't there. Like whatever it was, they just did not make my what I require to be a best of. And guys, these 100%, they make it time and time again. Super good, highly recommend. All right, now this next one I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on for two reasons. Number one, I can't remember if it was actually from 2019 or not. I think it might have been, but I can't remember. And number two, I've confessed my undying love about it roughly 70,000 times, and that is of course the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. I love this freaking palette so much. I think anytime Huda is brought up on my channel, I mention this palette because I love it so much. The only thing I don't love, I will say, like this primer thing, not my jam, but the colors, the pigmentation, the payoff, the way it worked, the way even these weird little shimmery shades worked. Like oh, look at that. Oh my God, it's like metal. Like it is so freaking beautiful. And I feel like, oh my God, it melts me. And I just feel like every time this palette's brought up, it brings me back to such a happy, warm place, because this palette is actually one of the first times I fell in love with this type of a color story. And I remember when I fell in love with it, and I couldn't put into words why I enjoyed it so much. And it was just my first ever go, stab, and love at this whole like purple, pink, playing around with different hues, different versions, different undertones, glitters, and matte, shimmer. Like it was just so much for me, and I fell in love with that difference. And up until this palette, I hadn't felt that like, ooh, that some kind of way. Excuse me, what is happening here? Excuse me, sir. But anyways, I just hadn't felt that kind of way about it. And it's just such a beautiful palette. Again, this was the only thing for me that I wasn't obsessed with, but everything else about it, color story and all of that being what it is, I love that it's a very, you know, day to night, day easy. You can do something fun, super glam, poppy, add lashes. You can do a very nice, easy daytime, something smoky, light. Like it doesn't matter what you're going for. I feel like there really is something in here for everyone. The textures are super fun, and it's just a win, girl. It is a win. So now we're gonna move into something that originally I wasn't gonna put in this video because, like I said, criteria was eyeshadow palette. So I sat there and I hemmed and I hawed because, like, technically it's not a palette, but I've always used it as one. So I went ahead, I'm throwing it in this video. You know, leave your complaints in the complaint box. I'm so sorry. But I fell in love with this from the moment she sent it to me. My girl, Laura Lee, honey, she launched her single shadow collection. I love these. These are my hands down, my favorite single shadows of the year of 2019, and I use several. And I'm not saying the other ones aren't good. I have some from Makeup Geek and ColourPop and all those other places, and they're great. But this collection, the way that she curated it, the colors, the design of it, I love these colors. I think they're beautiful. They blend out effortlessly, and I used these, like you can actually see in the pans how much I used so many of them, because they were a beautiful mixture for me of, you know, they're nice, they're normal tones, like something you could use on the day-to-day, and then she'd throw in like these colors that are just so beautiful and so unique. One of my favorites, I actually still remember this one, Silver Clouds. It is such a beautiful color, but it's not just a silver shade. It's like silver with a hint of pewter, with a hint of purple, with like a hint of this really fun, funky undertone. And I paired that color with so many of these other matte shades in here. And just overall, like, I'm not obviously going to talk about every single color, but I treated this like a palette from the moment I had it. It has been well loved and so used. And her formula in her single shadows is just as beautiful as her formula in pan, which is amazing. Her, what is it? It's not her, I want to say her Nakey palette, but it's like her original long palette that I just, oh, it's so good. I love these colors. I'm not going to drone on, but guys, yes, please. These are the only single shadows you will hear me talk about for the year 2019 because they are fantastic. Right, now this next one, I don't have to talk about it a ton because I did talk about it recently when I ranked my Natasha Denona palettes, and girl, coming in hot at number one was the Denona Metropolis palette. Honey, I love me this palette. Oh my God. Again, I explained it all in that video if you haven't seen it. It's not the best lighting. It was before this setup. I was actually transitioning into this setup. So if you watch it, if you like happen to scuttle back and find it, just, you know, be warned, it's not like, actually, you know what, I'll link it. I'm brave enough, I'll link it. Just don't hate me. I know the quality is not what you see right here. Like, it's not all this fabulous. If memory serves, I was actually eating French fries in that video, so go me. But I love this, as I talk about in that video. But this is a classic 28 pan palette, which from Denona we actually have not seen in quite some time, since her larger pan 28 palettes that are gigantic, and those are like $228-ish a piece. And so yes, this was expensive. I want to say this was one of her $120 palettes, but what I loved about this on like a format perspective is that you got to have the same amount of shades, like still 28 shades as the higher price point, but you were were able to do it for a lower price point and all you gave up was a little product, but you still got the overall shade range, which I'm totally fine with, because in today's day and age, you don't really often go through a full shadow like quickly at all, especially with hers, because they're so rich in pigment and beautiful and blendable, and oh my god, yes. So for me, I was just really happy with the amount of colors they gave. I felt like it was a really completed look, a very completed aesthetic, and I love the formula. I love the color story. All right, guys, we have 2 palettes left, and I'm gonna be skidding with this one. I looked forever to find her, and that is my Jackie Aina ABH palette. Y'all, it is so good. For me, this is probably, I would say, of 2019. I know ABH just started throwing out new releases. This, for me, is their best palette of 2019. What she did here, it is so beautiful. First of all, the aesthetic is so beautiful. It's so true to her. Everything about her, I feel like, is just in this palette, from the design, the print right here, like this kind of faux snakeskin feel, the signature on the front, like it's super classy, but it has like this flair to it that I think is so beautiful. And then when you open it up, the color story is so freaking her. So it's like spot on and specific, and down to the names and the way that she arranged it. And I just, oh my god, when I look at this, not only do I see pure Jackie, but I see so much like beauty and inclusion and something that is just, oh my, I can't honestly tell you enough good things about how much I love this palette. This could actually be, I would say, in my top 5 of all 2019. Like that's how, whoo girl, yep, All right, now we are officially into my last palette, and this one, it wasn't meant to have this much buildup, but you know, now that I think about it, it's really well deserved, because during the height of this palette, I talked about it non-damn stop forever, and everyone got so sick of it. Well, I'm assuming you got sick of it, but guys, the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. Can we just talk about, oh my god, I used this palette literally every chance I got. I think, if memory serves too, this is the one where I did like a full face of ColourPop, and I was like, I'm gonna use this palette, and all of you guys were like, well, we would have preferred you actually use, like, I don't know, new ColourPop, and I was like, girl, don't mess with my palette. Like, I love this palette so freaking much. Everything about it, like, first of all, the aesthetic on the front, I see this in my dreams, okay? This right here, this aesthetic is what my life is made of. I love this whole like feminine, but like with a flare and like the cutout look. I just, I love this palette. I think it's so beautiful. In case you can't even understand what I'm saying at this point, so amazing. Then you open it up and there is something so light and bright and whimsical and fun and amazing about this freaking color story, and I just live for it. Again, I don't know if like these glitter shades right here, there's 2 of them. I don't know if they're technically eye safe. For me, I like them, don't get me wrong. I did use them. I didn't have any issues, but this color story and like this subtle blend of like earth toney, pinky, peachy cuteness, it was the first time that I had seen a color story that was like this, that was kind of more monotoned, but on the peachy pink scale, that I just died for. It was to the point where no matter what I was doing, I would just reach for it, because it's so easy and it's blendable and it's quick, and you can make it deep if you want to, but you don't have to. You can go all over the lid, or you can use a shimmer, a glitter, a whatever. Like, you can choose your level of intensity, of demure, of whatever. And I just, guys, it's so good. I highly recommend this to anyone that even remotely likes this color scheme right here. I am obsessed. I love it. I still love it. It's so good. Yes, 2019. Yes. And all right, you guys, that is the end of my 2019, my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I would love to hear yours down below. What are the eyeshadow palettes that you just could not put down? Like, you were like, girl, I need it. I love it. I want it right now. Yes, please. Like, I'm Ariana Grande. I see it. I want it. I buy it, and I would do it again. What are those palettes? I want to hear from you down below. And also, while you're down there, don't forget you can check me out on Instagram and on Twitter if you have not done so yet. Oh my God. Guys, I know this is so random. So when I'm filming, this is so dumb. I shouldn't even say this. I'm so sorry. As I sit here, I film like there's a window right there and it's dark outside, and normally I put the freaking thing down on the window and I turn on this light right here so that way you guys can actually like kind of see my face. And it didn't occur to me until I looked on my monitor and I was like, my God, my face has so many shadows on it. So if this video looks weird, the lighting is a little bit off, or if I just look, I don't know, if it looks a little dark in here, I apologize. I'm literally sitting in a cave and I didn't even notice. Like, how do you not notice that you're sitting in almost total darkness? I have like 2 lights right here and like an overhead, one tiny overhead light, and that's it. Oh my God, editing page is gonna love fixing this. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and close out the video. So if you haven't subscribed, turn on your post notifications. Please be sure to do that. I mean, if you want to stick around and see more fabulous, illy lit content like this one, I mean, why wouldn't you want to subscribe, right? It's crazy. But subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I have a cramp in my brain. I'm so tired. We are finally gonna dive into today's video, and you guys, 2019 is drawing to a very fast close. What? Hello, beautiful. What was that? Girl, she's blinding. Okay, I need to go to bed. Stop being weird, babe. Stop being weird. Never gonna happen.